crucial hearing on the plea against sedition law. Times Now is getting you some inside scoop. Government sources are telling us that the centre has decided to defend the sedition law. Now, this is a big development given the Supreme Court had asked the centre why it should not scrap a colonial law. Let's open this up and go across to our guests. We are joined by Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP. We have Danish Chaudhary with us, an advocate. We have Dr. John Dayal, human rights activist, and Ansh Singh Luthra, also an advocate, on the panel with us. Good evening to all of you. I first want to go across to Dr. John Dayal. Dr. John Dayal, the centre has decided to defend sedition law. The arguments that the centre will give is that if the law is being abused, the High Court can quash the FIR, and there are several laws like the murder and dowry laws that have been abused too, but they can't be scrapped.
There's nothing surprising in the union government saying that they will defend the law. Not only will they defend the law,
they have been implementing it, and state governments have been implementing it in the most ludicrous and the most cruel manner. People are being charged with sedition for anything from a cartoon to a speech to a statement against Chief Minister Yogi, Prime Minister Modi, or anybody else. What is sedition? Are they sedition? Are they terrorists? This could have been treated or targeted by existing laws. There are all too many laws as it is. To call them sedition is going beyond colonialism. It is ludicrous, and it's time that the law is struck off the board.
Tuhin Sinha, in fact, the observations of the court were also very, very strong and critical. The court observed that indiscriminate use of Section 124A, which is the sedition law in the Indian Penal Code, is like a saw in the hands of a carpenter who cuts the entire forest instead of a tree. And while making those observations, the court had asked the centre why it should not scrap a colonial law which was misused by the British government to oppress freedom movements. The court, in fact, also observed that this gives enormous power of misuse.
Swati, any country which is serious about its national security cannot do away with the sedition law. And when I say this, I completely agree with the need to prevent its misuse. If you allow me to just go back a little bit in history, this law was not a part of the Constitution. It was brought in through the first constitutional amendment in 1951 by Pandit Nehru. Why? Because he could clearly anticipate the Kashmir conspiracy case where Sheikh Abdullah was arrested in 1953. Today, nearly 70 years later, the nature of national security challenges has changed completely. You have Tukre slogans being raised in JNU where Rahul Gandhi goes and supports them. You know, you have the so-called anti-CEA protest, you have so-called farmer protests, which all have foreign masterminds controlling it at some point. So I think the sedition laws need to be there. Yes, there is a need to prevent its misuse, for which the centre is ready to, take directions from the Supreme Court. There could be provisions like quashing of FIRs by the High Court the moment the case is found phony or false. But to do away with it would be to actually strengthen the Andolan GVs and the Tukre gang, which actually holds a big threat to national security, and especially at a time when the whole nature of security challenges are changing.
All right, so Tuhin Sinha is saying that sedition laws are needed, especially in cases where there's an intention to disrupt, to create chaos. I want to go across to Mr. Luthra. Do you agree with that argument that maybe we need guidelines to prevent misuse? Maybe we need steps taken by the high courts at the court level of quashing FIRs? Also, one more question along with this that I want to ask you. Do you believe that there should be some provision of punishment and not just quashing of the FIR if in case it is proven that the law was misused?
Thank you for having me on your program, Swati. I would begin by saying that dissent is essential to a democracy and hence it must be protected. Freedom of speech must be protected, but laws which stifle freedom of speech and dissent, which do not allow constructive criticism, must go away. Draconian laws must go away. And to be fair, it is not a doing of this government or the previous government. It's an old law which has been misused by the previous government time and in this government's time.
By all governments.
By all governments. There are other laws, I agree, there are other laws, and hence sedition must go. There are other laws which deal with terrorist activities, which IPC also deals with public law, public order disruption. There is the National Security Act, and hence there are many other laws to deal with the problems which sedition purportedly deals with, number one. Number two, with respect to the guideline problem that you're mentioning, as far back as 1962, in the Kedarnath judgment, the tendency test was laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court. Unfortunately, that has not been followed. The tendency test by the Supreme Court says that unless such a speech or an act or a representation has the tendency to create public disorder, it is not sedition. This was followed in Common Cause. This was followed in the Vinod Dua judgment recently. This was also reiterated in the Broadcasting Company judgment. Despite there being such a guideline by the Supreme Court, it is open to misuse. The process has become the punishment. There is mechanical application by police officers. There is long delay in cases. Bails are not easy. The judge simply says, you are charged under serious offenses and hence I deny you bail. Quashing is not easy for the same reason. There is a delay in filing of charge sheet by the police officers, and hence even if the trial goes on for 5-6 years and you come free, you get an acquittal, that is not enough because your personal liberty is curtailed for 5 years. And I agree with you. If you have to water it down, you must have liability of people who charge people falsely with such cases. Number two, I must point to what the West has done, and we must learn from them. The UK, in 2009, by Section 73 of the Coroners and Justice Act, has said that sedition is not required. It is confusing and unnecessary. The US Supreme Court decision in Brandenburg versus Ohio has said freedom of expression can only be curtailed if such acts lead to immediate lawlessness. Hence, the threshold of an act leading to immediate lawlessness is very high. If you reduce sedition to such a high threshold and it is implemented, this misuse is prevented, responsibility is put on people for putting fake cases. I am very happy, but it is not possible, and hence this vestige of the British must go. I must also point out Mahatma Gandhi in 1920 stated that this
I want to bring in Danish Chaudhary as well. Danish Chaudhary, Dr. John Dayal and Ansh Luthra believe that dissent is healthy for democracy and sedition law quashes dissent. Sedition law is in fact an attack on freedom of speech of individuals. It is only being used by governments to suppress voices. The question that I want to ask you is, do you agree that there should be some guidelines to make changes, or should it be outrightly scrapped?
Is that question to me or
the guidelines are already given in Supreme Court judgments. There
Yes,
are various
Mr. Chaudhary,
judgments
it is
giving guidelines. So whenever there is an FIR and it goes to the
Go ahead, sir.
There are the guidelines already given. So whenever there is a case of sedition before the court will look into whether those guidelines are followed, whether it comes under in the view of sedition or not. So the guidelines are already provided. Now I want to add here that when they say that Gandhi, I want to add a point. When they say Mahatma Gandhi was opposed to this sedition law, or Lokmanya Tilak was opposed to this sedition law, they were opposed to a foreign rule. They were asking for self-determination. That's not the case anymore after 1947. There is no question of self-determination. There is no foreign rule in India. So that logic doesn't apply. If you read the articles in Young India of Mahatma Gandhi, when he starts for this sedition law, when he comments against the sedition law, he says that all Indians, irrespective, are being their voices are curtailed because they are Indians. That's not the case anymore. And when the Constituent Assembly, when drafted 19(1)(a), gave certain power of speech and expression, also in 19(2) gave an exception as a security of a state. The word sedition is not used in 124(a). When you read 124(a), of
Okay,
IPC.
Mr. Chaudhary,
you will
Mr.
find
Chaudhary
that
is
it
saying there is no
concerning
foreign
security
rule
of a
anymore.
state.
There is no question
So the
of
security-
self-determination. And these cases and such a law is needed in cases where the intention is to cause disorder, whereas John Dayal and Ansh Singh Luthra are questioning the intention behind continuing with the sedition law. That's all the time I have, gentlemen. I'll have to wrap up the debate. Thank you very much for joining us. But we'll keep tracking the developments. It will be important to see how the Supreme Court responds to the centre's stand. Centre is ready for review. Centre says review, don't repeat.